The sky above the planet Zithera 9 burned red. Ash and dust floated through the air like a storm of fireflies, twisted by the violent winds of war. Explosions shook the ground, rattling buildings and tearing apart the once proud city of Valchorus, the capital of the Zitheran people. Screams of fear and defiance echoed through the streets. In the midst of the chaos, a human soldier moved like a shadow among the ruins. His name was Captain Eric Kane, and he was far from home, fighting a war that spanned galaxies. Humans were outsiders here, fragile, short-lived, and yet somehow unstoppable. But Arik never thought of himself as a hero. He was just a soldier, doing what needed to be done. "Cover me, Reyes!" Arik shouted to his companion, another human soldier. Explosions sent shrapnel flying, forcing Arik to dive behind a fractured wall. Across the battlefield, the alien soldiers, tall, armored, with multifaceted eyes, fought with grace and power. Their weapons glowed with strange energy, cutting through the metal of enemy war machines like paper. But Arik noticed something dangerous. In the distance, a massive Zitheran warship hovered above the city, firing torrents of energy that shredded the streets below. On its bridge stood Queen Lyra, the ruler of the Zitherans, directing the battle. Her people revered her, and enemies feared her. But at that moment, she was in danger. A rogue alien commander, faster and stronger than anyone Arik had faced, broke through the human-alien front lines. The creature leapt toward the queen, claws ready to strike. No one could reach her in time. Arik didn't think. He ran, sprinting across burning rubble, dodging energy blasts, and ignoring the screams around him. He vaulted over a shattered wall and slid into the path of the attacker. With every ounce of strength, he tackled the alien, throwing them off balance just as the claws were about to strike. The queen's guards finally arrived, but Arik had already done the impossible. He had saved her life. The rogue alien hissed and retreated, snarling, but Arik didn't wait to see the end. He turned to make sure the queen was safe. Her eyes met his. They were deep, strange, and impossibly intelligent, like twin stars burning with knowledge and command. She didn't speak at first. She only stared. Then her voice rang out, not angry, not scared, but filled with something heavy and serious. "You saved me," she said. Her words were almost musical but sharp, like crystal cutting glass. Arik shrugged, wiping sweat from his brow. "It's what any soldier would do," he replied, though he felt a strange weight in her gaze. Queen Lyra knelt slightly, lowering her height to his level, not a gesture of submission, but of respect. "You have my debt, human," she said. "A debt beyond time, a debt that cannot be forgotten." Arik frowned. "Debt?" he asked. "I didn't do it for whatever you mean." She nodded, her long silver-blue hair flowing in the wind like liquid metal. "I know, but still, your life and actions have bound us. One day, that debt will matter." Before Arik could respond, an explosion nearby threw him to the ground. The rogue commander had rallied its forces, and the battlefield was collapsing into chaos. Arik's focus snapped back to survival, to fighting, to protecting the humans and Zitherans around him. The battle raged for hours. Arik led charges, rescued trapped soldiers, and destroyed enemy machines with ingenuity that stunned the aliens. They had never seen a human fight like this, unpredictable, daring, and fearless. Where their strategies relied on logic and numbers, Arik relied on courage and instinct. And it worked. By nightfall, the city lay in ruins, but the rogue faction had been defeated. Arik, battered, bleeding, and exhausted, sat on a pile of rubble. The queen approached him again. Her armored figure moved with elegance even amid the destruction. "You have proven something today," she said softly. "Humans, they are strange, fragile creatures, Yet you wield courage like a weapon stronger than any energy beam. You have my respect, Captain Arik Kane. Arik looked at her, unsure what to say. I didn't do it for respect, he muttered. I did it because it had to be done. Because people would die otherwise. Lyra smiled faintly, a rare softness in her eyes. That is why you are human, she said. And that is why your species has a place in the stars. You act not for glory, not for power, but for what is right. That is something even we cannot always claim. She extended a hand toward him. Arik hesitated. He was a soldier, not a diplomat, but he took it. Her grip was firm, unyielding, yet there was no threat. It was a bond, silent but profound. You saved me, she said again, and I will not forget. Remember my words, human. One day you may need to come to me, and when that day comes, I will expect your presence. Arik nodded slowly. He didn't fully understand, but he felt the weight of her words. Then, without another word, she turned and walked back to her warship, leaving Arik to his thoughts and the ruins around him. The humans cheered their victory. Arik's squad surrounded him, clapping him on the back. You actually saved the Queen? That's insane, said Reyes, still wide-eyed. You know what this means, right? You've got, like, interstellar VIP status now. Arik only shrugged. I just did what had to be done. That's all. As the night sky above Zithra 9 glowed with the distant fires of war, Arik sat quietly. For the first time, he wondered if the human species, so small, so fragile, so often underestimated, could truly leave a mark on the galaxy. Today, he had proven that they could. Not through technology, not through numbers, not through brute strength, but through courage, instinct, and the willingness to act when it mattered most. The memory of the Queen's eyes stayed with him, calm, intelligent, and unyielding. Somewhere out there she would remember him, and in that bond, fragile and invisible as it was, the first threads of destiny had begun to weave. The war was far from over, but Arik Kane, human soldier, had already proven one thing. Even among the stars, humanity could shine. And somewhere beyond the veil of space, the alien Queen Lyra swore a silent promise. She would remember him. Always. Years had passed since the battle on Zithra 9, and Earth seemed a world away from the stars where Arik Kane had once fought. He had returned to a quiet life, far from the chaos of interstellar wars. In the eyes of most humans, he was an ordinary soldier who had done his duty and faded into history. But the universe had not forgotten him. Arik's mornings were simple now. A cup of hot coffee, a quick run along the river, and a routine of maintenance work at a small interstellar transport hub. Life was predictable, safe, and peaceful. It was the kind of life he had earned, or so he thought. Then, on an ordinary Thursday, everything changed. The sky above the city shimmered with unnatural light. A vessel unlike any human craft descended slowly, its surface smooth and metallic, reflecting the sun like a mirror. People on the streets stopped and stared, shielding their eyes. No alarms sounded, no warnings flashed. The ship simply landed, elegant and silent, in the center of the transport hub. Arik felt a chill. Something about the vessel's presence was familiar. Before he could move, a hatch opened. From it descended a figure, tall and regal, her presence impossible to ignore. Long, silver-blue hair cascaded over her shoulders, shimmering in the sunlight. Her eyes, those eyes, burned with intelligence, authority, and a strange warmth. Queen Lyra. Arik's heart skipped a beat. He hadn't seen her in years, yet her gaze pierced through him as if no time had passed. You're real, he muttered, taking a cautious step forward. Lyra's lips curved into a faint smile. I am always real, human. But you, She paused, studying him closely. You have changed. Arik laughed nervously, rubbing the back of his neck. I guess everyone does, but I never thought I'd see you here, on Earth. Lyra inclined her head slightly. I come because of what you did, because of the debt you earned long ago. The galaxy, it faces a threat, and I need your presence once more. Arik froze. The word debt brought back memories of that day on Zithera 9. The explosions, the fire, the chaos, and the way he had thrown himself in front of death to save her. I don't know if I'm ready, he said quietly. I left that war behind for a reason. Earth is safe. Lyra's gaze did not waver. Safety is an illusion, human. There are forces rising that even my empire cannot defeat alone. You possess a mind and a courage that are rare. You think small, act differently, see possibilities others do not. That is why I need you. Arik took a deep breath, glancing at the crowd of humans gathering around, their eyes wide with fear and curiosity. Yet he could not deny it. The weight of her words stirred something deep inside him. This was his world now, and yet the universe still demanded his courage. Fine, he said finally, but I don't understand. Why me? I'm just a human. Lyra's expression softened slightly. You are human. That is exactly why you are essential. Humans are underestimated, overlooked, and often dismissed. But you have proven that your species' greatest strength is its heart. Your actions change outcomes where others fail. That is why I remember you. For a moment, the city seemed to fade. All Arik could see was her. The alien queen who had survived because of him, standing here in a strange human world, offering him a chance to fight again. Then I guess we should talk, Arik said, his voice steadier now. Show me what's going on. Lyra nodded, signaling toward her vessel. Its interior was more beautiful than any human technology could imagine. Walls shimmered with energy, floors seemed to float underfoot, and panels of light displayed star maps, fleets, and distant planets. The air hummed with quiet power, yet it was not intimidating. It felt alive and intelligent. Inside, Lyra led him to a large holotable projecting the galaxy in glowing, three-dimensional detail. She pointed toward a sector marked in crimson. This is where the Rogue Coalition is gathering, she explained. They have already conquered several star systems. Earth is not yet their target, but that may change quickly. My empire cannot act alone, and yet your people, humans, you have strategies we do not anticipate. That is why I asked for you. Arik leaned closer, studying the maps. The Coalition's fleets were massive, their ships lined up like a storm ready to sweep across the stars. But he noticed something others might not. Their formations were rigid, predictable. Their leaders relied on overwhelming power and intimidation. That could be exploited. I see it, he said slowly. They're strong, yes, but they underestimate the value of unpredictability. They assume no one will take risks humans would. I can work with your forces, but we'll need a plan that surprises them completely. Lyra's eyes gleamed. That is why you are here. You will advise my generals, you will lead when necessary, and you will have the authority to act as you see fit. Arik felt a strange mix of pride and fear. Humans were not often given this level of trust by alien species, and yet, here he was, being told he could make a difference. Again. What about Earth? He asked. If I'm gone, who protects my world? Lyra's expression softened, almost imperceptibly. Earth will remain safe. I have taken precautions, but the universe is wide, and danger travels faster than any single planet can defend itself. That is why your presence may be required elsewhere. Arik sighed, running a hand through his hair. He had hoped to leave war behind, but the universe had other plans. Still, He felt a spark he hadn't felt in years, the thrill of action, of protecting life, of making a difference. "I'm in," he said finally, "but I need to understand everything first. No surprises." Lyra inclined her head. "No surprises, human. I promise you transparency. But know this, the galaxy will challenge you. Not all battles are won by strength alone." They spent the next several hours reviewing intelligence reports, fleet movements, and the histories of the rogue coalition. Auric asked questions, pointed out weaknesses, and suggested strategies that made even the alien generals pause in thought. It was clear that his mind worked differently, humanly, resourceful, flexible, and creative. As the briefing ended, Lyra turned to him. "You see now why I remembered you. You are human, yes, but you are extraordinary in ways your kind rarely understands." Auric smiled faintly. "I'm just a soldier." Lyra shook her head. "No. You are more. You are a symbol of what humanity can achieve. And soon, the galaxy will see it too." As Auric prepared to leave for the night, he realized something important. He was no longer just a human soldier. He was a link between civilizations, a bridge between species, and perhaps one of the few beings who could make a difference in the coming storm. The stars outside the vessel glimmered like distant promises. Somewhere in the void, dangers waited. But Auric Kane felt ready. For the first time in years, he felt alive in a way Earth could not offer. Queen Lyra placed a hand on his shoulder. Her grip was firm, commanding, yet not threatening. "Rest tonight, human. Tomorrow our real work begins. The galaxy awaits your courage." Auric nodded. He stepped outside, feeling the night air on Earth, but knowing that soon he would be among the stars again. And this time, he would not just fight for survival. He would fight to protect countless lives, human and alien alike. And somewhere, far above, the Queen smiled. She had not forgotten him. And in the coming battles, she would ensure that humanity, through Auric, would shine brighter than any star.